Have you ever caught yourself in the mirror, slumped, defeated? It's happened to me more times than I care to admit. That's not just bad posture, friend. That's your persona, your carefully constructed mask cracked wide open. I once saw a man powerful on the surface, CEO, six-figure salary, but his shoulders perpetually hunched. His body betrayed the king he pretended to be. He wasn't powerful, not really. He was terrified. This isn't about fixing your back. This is about finding your strength. 3 simple positions, 3 archetypes, 3 ways your body reveals and betrays your inner world. Jung called it the shadow. I call it the energetic block holding you back from everything. Are you ready to see it? So you've seen it, that reflection, the one that makes your stomach clench, the slump, the weight, the defeat. It's not about vanity, not about aesthetics. It's about the energetic signature you're broadcasting to the world, and more importantly, to yourself. I remember a man in Chicago, a lawyer, sharp as a tack, 65 years old, with the most impressive office I'd ever seen. Yet his posture, always hunched, like a question mark permanently etched onto his spine. He projected success, he commanded respect, he won cases, but inside, his shoulders whispered a different story. A story of years spent battling something invisible, something heavy, something he never quite conquered. He was a king wearing rags. His power was a thin veil easily pierced by a simple observation. That's the thing about the body, it always tells the truth, even when the mind is expertly crafting lies. It reveals the cracks in the persona, the mask Jung talked about, the carefully constructed self we present to the world. That mask, my friend, it's fragile. And the weight of the untold story will always find a way to manifest. It's etched into the subtle curve of your spine, a silent scream trapped in muscle and bone. It's a language of the body, and it's time we learn to read it. That hunched posture, it's not just physical. It's a language, an energetic signature broadcasting your inner world, your fears, your insecurities, your unspoken truths. Jung called it the shadow self, that part of you you hide even from yourself. And the body. It's a brutally honest translator. Think of it like this: your posture is the somatic echo of your emotional state. A man in San Francisco, a retired architect, 72 years old, brimming with quiet dignity, once told me about his years wrestling with grief, the loss of his wife, a wound that never fully healed. He'd built a life, a career, a family, but his shoulders always slightly stooped. It wasn't a physical ailment. It was a silent scream trapped in his musculature. He was carrying the weight of his sorrow visibly, palpably. His body was a map detailing the terrain of his emotional landscape, a landscape largely unexplored by his conscious mind. This isn't about superficial fixes, it's about seeing the energetic reality of your being. There are 3 basic positions, 3 archetypal postures that reveal the state of your inner king. First, there's the expansive posture, chest open, shoulders back, head held high. This is the king, the archetype of power, confidence, and self-assuredness. But the energetic signature isn't just about the stance, it's the subtle nuances, the subtle lift of the chin, the relaxed shoulders, and the inner feeling of command. Feel that, think of that, imagine the feeling. Next, we have the collapsed posture, shoulders slumped, head down, energy depleted. The child, vulnerable, receptive, and often weighed down by a sense of inadequacy. This posture, I've found, is often linked to feelings of shame, rejection, or a deep-seated belief in one's own unworthiness. And let's be honest, we've all been there. Finally, there's the guarded posture, shoulders drawn in, arms crossed, a defensive barrier. The warrior protecting himself from perceived threats, often marked by fear, anxiety, or a deep mistrust of the world. See the power in that posture, the fierce intensity. That's not just a pose, that's an energy. And it's powerful. Each of these postures, each of these archetypes carries an energetic signature. And these signatures, they speak volumes. They reveal the energetic blocks that are preventing you from accessing the deepest levels of yourself, the most authentic version of the man you were always meant to be. Are you ready to see what your body is trying to tell you? So the body speaks. It whispers where the mind shouts, a silent chorus of anxieties, a symphony of unspoken fears. And those hunched shoulders, that's not just a posture, it's a fortress, a wall built not of stone but of shame. I saw it in a man in Denver, a 70-year-old professor, brilliant mind, overflowing with knowledge. But his shoulders, they spoke of decades spent guarding a secret, a wound so deep he'd almost forgotten the pain itself. He was a scholar, yes, but he was also a prisoner of his own internal landscape. Jung talked about the shadow self, that dark, hidden place where our deepest insecurities fester. And that's what I see in those slumped forms, the shadow's grip, tightening its hold with each passing year, each unspoken truth, each rejection swallowed whole. It's a chilling truth: we often become the very thing we fear. It's not weakness exactly, it's a maladaptive survival mechanism, an energetic contraction designed to protect us from further pain. But it also keeps us small. It keeps us in that hunched, diminished state, a king hiding in a cage built of our own self-doubt. We build these cages brick by brick, with every act of self-sabotage, every suppressed emotion, every opportunity missed because of a fear so deep it manifests as a physical posture. It's a vicious cycle. The posture becomes a symbol, the symbol becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Think of it as an energetic knot tightening around your heart, squeezing the life out of your dreams. And the truth is, it's hard to untangle, but it is possible. The first step, seeing it. Acknowledging that the slumped shoulders are a symptom, not the disease. Understanding that it's not a flaw to be fixed, but a gateway to something far deeper. Are you ready to confront that shadow? Because until you do, you'll remain a captive in your own self-made prison. That prison, it's built brick by brick, not with stone and mortar, but with the very fabric of your own neglected self. Each slumped shoulder, each hunched back, each whispered insecurity, it's a testament to a life lived half-heartedly, a kingdom surrendered without a fight. I saw it in a 70-year-old architect in San Francisco. He designed skyscrapers, monuments to human ambition, and yet his posture, it was a crumbling ruin. He'd built empires for others, but he'd let his own fall into disrepair. This wasn't about physical therapy, this was about a deeper illness, a spiritual bankruptcy. Jung called it the process of individuation, the journey to wholeness. But it's not some esoteric concept, it's the brutal reckoning with the shadow self, the parts of you that you keep hidden, the parts that whisper doubts and fears, and even more powerfully, the parts you refuse to acknowledge even exist. And it begins not in therapy or meditation, but in the mirror, with that reflection you so desperately try to avoid. The image you project isn't just a facade, it's a symptom. It's a feedback loop of what you believe, what you feel, and how you embody that reality. It's the energetic signature, the magnetic field you broadcast to the world. Weak posture, weak energy. The body doesn't lie. And that's the most terrifying part. It's a direct translation of your interior world, and it's telling a story you're too afraid to hear. This isn't about vanity. This is about reclaiming your power, your birthright. What would it take to stand fully, to occupy your space with the kind of presence that demands respect, not because you demand it, but because it emanates from within, from that quiet, powerful place that lies beneath the layers of fear and self-doubt. It's about understanding that your posture isn't a consequence of your emotions, it's a direct reflection of how you are truly inhabiting your life. Are you ready to see how you're really showing up? So the king, he doesn't just rise, he reclaims his throne. It's not a sudden, dramatic shift, no cinematic music swelling here, but a quiet, persistent reclaiming. It starts with awareness. With seeing, truly seeing, the slumped shoulders, the guarded stance, the collapsed posture. It's about acknowledging the story they tell, not judging it, not fighting it, but understanding it. It's about recognizing that these postures aren't failures, they're symptoms. Symptoms of a deeper, unseen battle, a war waged against yourself, often without even knowing it. And I know that feels heavy, almost unbearable. But what if the weight wasn't a burden to carry? What if it was the weight of a crown you'd forgotten you were wearing? The truth is, you weren't broken, you were never taught the truth. You were never shown the way to carry your power, the power of your inherent self, untouched by the narratives you've absorbed. You've been living a half-life, operating in a space smaller than the one you were born into. A space built by fear and maintained by habitual self-neglect. Think of the man in Denver, 72 years old, a retired professor, hunched like an old oak surrendering to a storm. He had a life rich with experience, a mind overflowing with knowledge, but he inhabited his body as if it were a stranger's. His posture was a whisper of self-betrayal, a forgotten legacy of unlived potential. There's a quiet strength in acknowledging this, a profound freedom in simply seeing it. And the courage it takes to face that reflection, that's immense. The choice is yours. You can remain in the shadow of the self-doubt you've come to call home, or you can choose to rise, to step fully into your power, into the life that awaits you unburdened, to inhabit your body not as a victim but as the king you are, the man you were always meant to be. This isn't about perfect posture, friend. It's about aligning your outer form with your inner truth. It's about standing not just physically but existentially in the full weight of who you are. And the weight of that's the true power you've been searching for. It's the quiet hum of a life finally lived.